listening to the Straight to Video podcast with Rob Lane.
All right, here we are again, and welcome along to a brand new Straight to Video podcast with me, your host, Rob Lane. Really hope all is good in your world as we head into autumn and Halloween season just around the corner. Lots happening on that front with Straight to Video, which I'll update you with later, but right now, I am super excited to bring you this week's guests to the show. I've been trying my best to make this show happen pretty much since the podcast started, and we finally did it and got it in the bag. Today I get to welcome Kris and Danni from the synth pop band Prizm to the show. I fell in love with their sound when I heard the awesome mashup of two of my favourite bands, FM84 and The Midnight, which they cleverly did on their track Midnight FM back in 2019, and I was immediately on board. I adored the way they moulded all the hooks from two of Synthwave's premier bands into a song of their own. From then I dived into the other music they had online, and I knew I'd found a new favourite band. Their album All Night followed in 2020, and now they're getting set to release it on vinyl for the first time, plus they've announced a live show in the Dallas area at the Sweet Tooth Hotel on October the 21st. We chat all about their journey growing up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, becoming singer-songwriters, then teaming up with the third part of Prizm, producer Geoff Rockwell, to complete the Prizm sound, and the journey it's taken them on since. We also chat about our favourite horror movies and also whether or not you should meet your musical heroes. This Straight to Video podcast is proudly presented to you in association with Affinity Photo, an incredible piece of photo editing software which I've been using for graphic design the past couple of years. It's used to create the podcast episode artwork you see each week, and it's an extremely affordable alternative to other programs on the market, so if you can, please check them out at affinity.serif.com. Alright, let's get into today's show. If you want to learn more about Prizm, you can find them all over social media or through their website, weareprizm.com. Prizm is spelled P-R-I-Z-M or P-R-I-Z-M for you American folk, and the album All Night will be released on vinyl at the end of October, and it is available to pre-order now. Right now though, please enjoy my straight to video chat with Danni and Kris of Prizm.
Hello.
How's it going?
Hi, it's great. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good.
Oh, it's so nice to meet you, Rob.
You too.
You know what's funny? We were talking for like an hour on the phone before this, and we were like, oh, we got to do the podcast. Like, as if we don't see each other and talk to each other enough. I'm like, hi.
Hey, how's it going, Danni?
Hi, good. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good. So great to chat to you both. I appreciate you doing this. I've been emailing Geoff for probably, 2.5 years. And he finally got back to me.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Well, we're happy to be here.
No, so I don't know. He's waiting for me to like build up episodes to make sure I was legit or something like that. I have no idea.
Oh my gosh.
How you both doing? How's your day been?
Pretty good. We're both kind of doing the same thing. We were just FaceTime each other and just been chatting, talking about the weather, literally, because it's so hot in Texas right now.
Right?
It's so hot. Yeah.
How's your summer been? Is it starting to cool down, or is that going to be for the next few weeks?
No cooling down here. In fact, we joke because whenever it's like 95, people are like, ooh, a cool front came in.
Right.
It's hot. It's very hot, and it probably won't start cooling down for another, 30 days, maybe. It might get a little bit better, but Texas stays pretty warm right up till like October-ish.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the hottest places I've been to. I've got a bunch of friends in the Dallas area, and me and my wife went there. I think it was 2011. I think you had like a massive heat wave that summer, and we were staying in a hotel in Dallas. And I remember it was right next to a bank, and we'd been out for the evening, and we came back, and your banks have like the temperature thing on the marquee as you come in, and I think it was still like way up into the 90s or even like well up there. I was like, holy shit.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh, you poor thing.
It's brutal.
I don't know if you've had a chance to listen to any of the shows or check out what the show's about. I'm considerably older than the two of you, so it's very nostalgia based, but I'm a big fan of the whole synthwave stuff and how it harks back to the 80s and all that kind of thing. So if we can just trace your journey a little bit, obviously talk about the new album coming out on vinyl and bring things right up to date, that'd be wicked.
We are so excited about the vinyl, by the way.
I say it's been a long time coming because the album came out in 2020, didn't it?
It did.
Yes.
It did. Yes. And we were always talking about putting it out on vinyl. It's just a lot of moving parts when you're wanting to do things because, we were signed to a label for a little while and then went back to independent. We're still releasing it with Fixed. And the stars aligned and we're releasing it. I think it's on pre-order now and will be officially released October. So we're thrilled.
Did you guys fall prey to any of the delays at vinyl plants, which every artist other than Taylor Swift seems to be suffering from?
Actually, what's funny is we had been told that we couldn't release the vinyl until January of next year. So we had thought all year, okay, it's not really what we want, but we'll wait. And then out of nowhere, they were like, actually, you guys, we can start the pre-order in August. And we were like, what?
Bonus.
Yeah, so something must have cleared up.
I'm excited for listeners to this show to hear about the two of you. I mean, I was hooked when I heard your Midnight FM track back in 2019, I think it was. I don't even remember how I came across it, but I thought it was genius mashing two of Synthwave's premier bands together into one track. There's so many hooks within one song because the material from both those bands is amazing. From there, I dived back into what else was available and been on board ever since. But were the Midnight and FM 84 two of the first Synthwave acts that you heard too?
Oh gosh, I think for sure FM 84 and the Midnight to me are they're two of the biggest Synthwave acts. So they were the first Synthwave artists that I heard, and big fan, especially the Midnight. I love the Midnight. They're going to be in Dallas next month. So I'm going to do everything I can to make it to that show.
Have you seen them before?
I have not seen them live before.
Oh, it's stunning. They were over in the UK a few months ago and it was amazing. I loved it. It's crazy. The fan base is so cross-generational. There's older people, younger people, and from a band where I always say if you walked up to the average person in the street, they would have no idea who you're talking about. But here's this band selling out these massive rooms. I think it's fantastic. And that's a reflection of the synthwave scene, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Synthwave has such a cult following. It doesn't have to be massive. Whatever following there is, it is very intense, which is awesome.
Say one of our first experiences kind of in that world was we went and saw FM 84 at a place in Dallas, and we thought the same thing about the crowd. We were like, wow, there's so many different types of people here. You would never know that these people were into this music, but it was just such a wide demographic, a lot of guys. We were like, wow, it was really cool. It was so much fun to experience.
Was Ollie out with him on that show, that FM 84 show? Was he doing the vocals or did they have somebody else singing?
He did.
That's cool. Who is it? Who's the main guy behind FM 84? I know he's from Scotland.
Yeah, Cole. Cole's awesome. He's a really nice guy. I don't think we got a response or anything from the Midnight. They're a little more elusive to me. And
yeah.
FM 84, I think Ollie, he had heard it and I think tweeted about it and was like, this is cool. And we've actually all done a video chat with Cole. So he knows who we are. And we've chatted about possibly working on some stuff together, which would be so cool.
So good.
Yeah.
What was both your impression of the synth pop, synthwave sound when you first heard it? It's almost a sound that's wonderfully fresh, but there's also something familiar about it as well. What was your reference points when you heard it?
I mean, this is exactly like you said it. There's this feeling of nostalgia when you listen to it. Because my first experience was FM 84. I had never heard synthwave or really listened to synthwave. Man, I would be I remember summer nights on a boat and I would just play some of his tracks. And it just made everything so magical. It was just really awesome. I loved the feeling it evoked. It was just great.
Other people have described it as not sounding exactly 80s, but more of a feeling of the 80s, which I think is a pretty cool way of translating it.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it.
The two of you's musical journey have been going on some time, though, prior to Prizm. You both grew up in similar Dallas-Fort Worth neighborhoods, but never crossed paths until you connected online.
Yeah, we lived in the same neighborhood when we were young teenagers. And we would ride our bikes around the same streets. We had the same neighborhood friends, but somehow we never met each other. We never crossed paths. It's possible we rode our bikes by each other and didn't even know it.
Is there much of an age difference? Are you similar ages?
I'm 2 years older than Danny, so not a huge age difference.
Can be a big difference when you're super young, though.
It can make a big difference, if someone's 12 and then someone's 14. It's possible. But yeah, we had a lot of the same friends and grew up very close to each other. We didn't meet though until she was 20 and I was 22. And that was through Facebook, a lot of mutual friends.
This face just kept popping up all the time. People you may know.
Yes. And we really did have a lot of mutual friends. So we just kind of started chatting with each other over Facebook and
into those DMs.
Yes, slid into those DMs because I had seen video of her on her Facebook of her playing guitar and singing. I thought she was wildly talented. And I didn't know many girls who played guitar and sang. It's a little more rare, especially someone who is really good at it. And so, yeah, we made plans to hang out and we hit it off instantaneously. I will say we became fast friends and we started playing music together for fun. And then that turned into playing at coffee shops. And then that turned into playing gigs and then actually making money playing gigs. And then it became our full-time job was performing music together.
Did it all build pretty fast?
We started writing together very quickly. We quickly realized that we gelled and wrote effortlessly together. And so that, I think, started in 2012. And then by the time it was like 2015, we were like getting ready to release our first album together. And then after that, by 2017, we were like gigging full time, like quit our day jobs and we're just doing music full time.
Was that scary to make that jump?
A little, but we had some pretty regular stuff.
Yeah, I would say maybe a little, but we really had no choice because of how busy we were becoming. It was just kind of this, okay, well, we have to put all our focus on this. We don't have time. We don't have time to have day jobs. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was nice.
You won't be any good at them anyway if you'd have been gigging at night and all the stuff that goes into the band. You'd just be like a mess during the day.
True.
I know.
True.
Who were like some of your musical heroes at this point? Anybody from like the Dallas area, or was it more mainstream stuff?
Oh, we're obsessed with Stevie Nicks and Fleetwood Mac. Clearly, we're on this roll right now, releasing the Fleetwood Mac covers. Fleetwood Mac is a huge inspiration for us, and we really love the classic rock. Big fans of the 80s for sure, but we're actually kind of secretly a little bit bigger fans of music from the 70s. And I feel like some parts of our music, you can kind of hear some almost like disco 70s elements. So we kind of incorporate that in. But we love the Eagles, Steve Miller Band, Art, Fleetwood Mac, Doobie Brothers. Big fans.
The classics. Classics.
Oh, yeah. The classics.
Where does that come from? Is that from family, parents, or just radio?
Yeah, parents for sure. Big part of it. And it's just kind of wild that we do have very similar tastes in music. We listen to a lot of the same bands and send each other songs from bands we like. We do like the mainstream stuff. We like Ariana Grande, Rihanna. We obviously really love Synthwave, Gunship, FM84, The Midnight. So it's really all over the place.
What's your first gig in a coffee shop in Arlington, Texas? What do you remember about that?
Yeah, I was mortified. Like, I had the worst stage fright. And like the best thing about being friends with Kris was that every room that she went into, she like owned it. And it was like, she didn't let anyone scare her. And if she was nervous, you couldn't tell. She was just like, whatever, you're amazing. And we're going to do so well. And I just was like, okay. And we go up there and we play our little songs together. And we had so many family and friends come out. Like, that place was absolutely packed. It was just full of all of our people coming out to support us. It was so fun. It was cool to like have that validation of people supporting you, like doing music like this with someone else as well. You're just, yeah, this is good. This feels good. So it was really fun.
Is the coffee shop still there?
No, it's done. I know. I think COVID got it. R.I.P. Mocha Lux.
How was all the lockdown time for you guys? Was it a creative time for you? Did it allow you time to focus a lot on Prizm?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We began writing all night, the album all night, absorbed about 5 or 6 singles that we had already released. And then the other 5 or so songs we wrote and recorded during quarantine. And so for me, that was amazing having that outlet.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what I would have done I don't know how any of us got
Yeah.
through that. And then I believe we released it in September of 2020.
Deep in the heart of it.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
exactly. So we were really happy. We wanted to have a release party or release show, all that fun stuff. We clearly did not feel comfortable actually planning that and doing it. So we never got to have that. But with the vinyl release, I'm like, okay, let's make up for what we didn't get to do.
Yeah, because we love to party. We love to have all of our friends together. We love to just have a good time. So we're really looking forward to that because we really wanted to release the album. We were like, we've been working so hard on this. We spent like a solid 6 weeks just back and forth. We were in the studio so much. That stuff was done quickly. Geoff literally just did such a great job on all that stuff. And so I think we probably could have like waited and seen, but we were just too excited. We were like, we want to release this now.
You mentioned Geoff Rockwell, your producer. What was the switch to the formation of Prizm? I think it was in 2018. And how did you meet Geoff, who I think he previously had some success working with Forever the Sickest Kids? Did he approach you? Was it somebody you knew from the scene?
Danny and I have both known Geoff longer than we've known each other. He was another just mutual person that we knew. So yeah, we kind of all knew each other through just the small music scene in DFW. And Geoff had recorded some of our other music songs that Danny and I wrote together, just our singer-songwriter type stuff. So he actually approached us with the general idea of Prizm. And he was very just black and white about it. Do you guys want to do this like a synthwave project? And we know that Geoff is super talented. So we were immediately interested and we just kind of all got together and immediately started writing and recording. It's kind of like weird to like look back and think about how we just yeah, right? We just like jumped in and started doing it. I will say, Danny, what was the first song we wrote? Was it All Night or was it You Know That You Love Me?
It was You Know That You Love Me.
Yeah. So I will say when we got in and we were writing, we were recording, that was the first song we were doing. And I started kind of not having doubts. I wasn't sure how I felt about it or if I felt like I fit in doing this type of music or if how it was going to sound. Because I'm so used to, I've only done like rock and roll, singer-songwriter, acoustic type music. But I'm a big fan of this pop stuff, the synthwave stuff, 80s music. So yeah, I was a little bit like doubtful of myself. It was very short-lived because once we started working on stuff more, I mean, I was like, wow, this is so much fun. This is a blast. We work so well together. I can see the vision. But there in the beginning, I was just kind of like, what are we doing?
Was Geoff like presenting like the music side of it to you? I've got this idea, I've got this melody, or was it a combination? Or you'd come in even with like a guitar, like a basic idea of a song?
No, he even like upon the first message that he sent us when we showed interest and we were like, yeah, let's do it. He like sent us something right away. And that track was the track to If You Know That You Love Me. And we just started listening to it separately, like in the car and just trying to like come up with stuff. Cause her and I really work the best when we can like be together on a track and like bounce ideas off each other in real time. But in that time of our lives, we were driving separately to a lot of places. And so we just like came up with ideas and then we would all meet in the studio and like we'd lay down like the demo tracks immediately. And like he loved it and we all loved it. We were like, this is okay. We're doing this. And then we ended up doing LOVE shortly after that. And then All Night. And it was when we made All Night that I personally was, holy shit, this is awesome. This is going to go somewhere. This is too good. People have to hear this.
I bet it sounded huge immediately with the synthwave backbone to it all, especially when you're hearing it in a car. Holy crap, this is massive straight away. Can't wait to put some vocals onto this.
Oh, it was fun. It was definitely different for sure. Nothing like I had ever really heard before.
What influence did you find yourselves personally drawing from? Did you have to shift what you was listening to at all? Did you find yourself go digging back into other stuff, or how did that work?
We were listening to a lot of synthwave music, but the thing with Prizm is the vocals, I will say, are a little bit different than a lot of synthwave bands. A lot of synthwave music, a lot of people just like the instrumentals. They prefer it without vocals, which is why we release all of our songs as instrumentals. But with our songs, it is a lot of, it's very heavy with the vocals. And so we started listening more to like Ariana Grande, Whitney Houston, to hear how they sing and how they use their voices was a huge influence. If you listen to like the runs and the ad libs we do in our songs, we were totally channeling Whitney Houston, big time.
Yeah, we also really were into this artist that was a little more obscure at the time, and she goes by Betty Who, and we were obsessed with her, and she kind of had this like pop synth thing going on that also encouraged us with our writing style, and just also vocally she had like some insane awesome vocals and the harmonies, because that stuff again, like, yeah, is not in other synthwave music. And then we got into Kim Petras, which her vocals are ridiculous. So yeah, we definitely had to mix in some of those pop influences to like really amp up the things that we were going to have to do in the booth. So we needed that inspiration.
I think that's what sets Prizm apart from a lot of other artists. Like you say, a lot of synthwave stuff does instrumental things. There's not that many with vocals, but your stuff is unashamedly pop as well. I think it's great.
Oh yeah. Well, thank you.
Was it scary putting this new sound and band out into the world to people who perhaps associate you with like the acoustic singer-songwriter stuff? I mean, some of the stuff I've listened to, the Danni and Kris stuff, it's still got a bit of a rock backbone in some of it, but it's still very singer-songwriter. So how was it for you? Like, here we go, this is our new band. I guess a new image in a way as well. So was you excited to see people's response, or was you a little bit scared to what they was going to say?
We got some real good feedback pretty right away from our close friends and everyone. So that really helps. I don't even think we did this kind of like announcement. Hey, everyone, we have something cool coming. We seriously just uploaded the songs and just put them out and posted, here's 3 new songs and this is Prizm. It confused a lot of people. I think a lot of people thought that it was still like Danni and Kris, or that...
Yeah, like a rebranding.
Yeah, so we had to kind of explain the separation of everything, but the feedback was great. It did help. I mean, I tried to just not think about it too much when we released it.
Nah, we just did it.
It's a whole different playing field now. It's like, this is like a new band. You're not just putting it out to the Dallas Fort Worth scene. Nowadays when we release stuff, you're putting it out to the world. So it's on like a whole different level. Like when you were starting a band like 20 years ago or something, you start out with your gigs, with your demo tapes, doing some local stuff. It started on that local scene, then hopefully you'd build outwards to let people know. But today, nowadays, it's instantly to the world if you're putting it out on Spotify and all social media. So yeah, you're setting yourself up to like, here we go, this is a whole new thing which we're doing. So was it pretty instant worldwide? From the outside, it looked like it began to get momentum pretty quickly.
That's what I will draw back on saying is the cult following with Synthwave. I was not prepared. I was not ready. I mean, the platform that there is, and there's almost this camaraderie with it. And everyone is, oh man, you can't be too derivative with it. You know, people really want that authentic, nostalgic recreation of the 80s. So for me, I kind of, get scared that the Synthwave community wouldn't like a song. The whole world outside of that, it's like, whatever. If they don't like it, whatever. But the Synthwave community, I want them to like the music and to give good feedback. I mean, they get it more than anyone.
How long did it take for you to get the momentum going? Did it feel like it happened pretty fast? You started cropping up on playlists and things like that? Or what was it you noticed early on?
I remember feeling like it was so quick. I don't think we had any time to prepare, because it was like January of 2019. We go live on MusicBed, which is, we do a lot of licensing with MusicBed. Our band goes live on there. We're released to the world. We're like, okay, everyone, like, this is Prizm. I mean, I think it was like, wasn't it like by summertime, Kris, that we were like with Fixed already?
Yeah, Fixed had reached out to us about signing with them. And once we'd signed with them, it was an even bigger boost and push into that Synthwave community.
Massive.
You're getting all those like YouTube channels and all that kind of thing where they do the videos.
Yeah, like new retro wave. Yeah.
And we started doing collabs with artists like Fury Weekend and Scandroid, which, I mean, really boosted the following and just being in that synthwave world more. I mean, we were not prepared. We were like, whoa. Again, like she said, it was just crazy. But I mean, it's been really fun the whole time. Like, people have been so wonderfully supportive, and I really love the fans of Prizm. They're great. They love the music.
It's hard to escape the 80s influence in modern day culture, what with the likes of Stranger Things, endless movie remakes, and now I think the 90s are definitely creeping back in. And to be fair, from what time I've spent in America, it's never gone away on radio. I always hear it when I go over there. Has there been anything, though, that you've been more recently exposed to, maybe references from other artists or things you've discovered when looking for influences for perhaps photo shoots or videos? Is there anything you've more recently become a fan of?
I've noticed, and I'm a fan of it, that more of the mainstream big named artists are releasing stuff that sounds so much like synthwave to me. You know, Pink, even Post Malone,
Katy Perry.
Yeah, like all these songs, like this sounds like a
Dua Lipa.
Yeah, got that synthwave sound going on for sure. I mean, it's nothing like the actual synthwave artists, though. There's just something about that authenticity of those artists, I will say. But I mean, it is cool and it's very inspiring to keep doing what we're doing. I don't know if there's many other synthwave artists in the DFW area. I mean, I know there's probably some that are like kind of starting out or smaller, but it's not really, really huge here. We're in Texas, so it's country, baby. They want the country music, the country stuff. They want the rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
And in DFW, they want the tribute bands. So when you're going out, you'll hear and see a lot of that, which we love it all. We can fit into the mold of all of it, but really hoping to just keep amping up the synthwave scene.
I think it's just going to grow and grow. It's going to tip the balance. Either somebody's going to break out of it with a mainstream hit, or I don't know, maybe it'll just ride as it is, just getting bigger and bigger on the underground, like the Midnight, just selling out these massive theatre venues and like unstoppable at the moment. It might just carry on on that level. Either way, I mean, that's good for the artist as well. Everything seems to be, it doesn't seem like you need the big record deal these days, whether those deals even exist anymore. If you can be business smart and do it yourself, like a cottage industry, which I'm sure you're familiar with, doing the singer-songwriter stuff and doing it in that way, promoting your band. I think the sky's the limit if you can keep it in-house and be smart about it.
I agree. And, you know, a lot of people ask us all the time, so what is y'all's end goal? What are you guys hoping to do? You know, what's your big idea, big picture? Where do you see yourself? What's your big dream? Where do you want to be? And we're like, baby, we're in it. We're in it right now.
Yeah.
Danny and I have so much fun. We're so happy. We play music, we perform, we write, we record. I think people see that fame needs to be an end goal for music. They don't understand that music has so many different arms. It's a spectrum, and it's the most colorful spectrum. And fame is just a tiny slit. It doesn't even really have anything to do with music. It's something that can happen if you have this amount of success at whatever music. And fame really isn't the end all be all goal for anything really for us. We just like creating music. We don't have this wildly massive following, but I will tell you, like the fans that we have, we talk to our fans that DM us, comment, everything.
Right.
Like we talk to our fans. Our fans are so cool. I enjoy talking, like I'll be like DMing the fans back and forth, like best senses of humor, like ever. Really know their stuff about music. They'll like give good suggestions of, hey, you should check this person out. They're so complimentary and just really loyal and fun to talk to. And so even if we don't have this massive following, I'm like, the fans that we do have really are incredible. I truly do mean that too.
And so many of them are from London.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of them are from London. Yeah.
There you go. You got to get over for like some showcase gigs or something like that.
They do. We need to come over. That I will say that, like, if we do have a dream that's outside of what we're practicing right now, I mean, we would love to open up for the Midnight. That would be the pinnacle.
We do. Yes.
Put it out there. It's in the universe now.
Put it out. Yeah,
I will say we do have some bigger dreams and goals and aspirations with Prizm for sure. Those are all there. And I feel like we have been trying to make things happen a little bit more lately. And we've been a lot more intentional with making those dreams and aspirations come true. So, I mean, with the vinyl release, that's really helped a lot and kind of kicked things into gear. Like, okay, like let's get this momentum back and keep it going.
And hopefully get into doing some live performances. That would be awesome.
You mentioned you was like talking to the fan base and stuff like that and replying to people's messages. I'll ask both of you, who was the first kind of band or artist that you had an interaction with growing up? Was there anybody like, holy crap, such and such has messaged me back, or I've met them at a gig? Does anybody jump to mind?
You probably have more than me, Chris. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You met Lights.
Yes,
right?
that's true. Okay. Lights, to me, she's a very synth heavy type band. I don't know if you've heard of Lights, Rob, but she's Canadian. She's great. Has really fun, cool music.
Talented.
And yeah, I met her, and super cool chick, really nice, really sweet. So I was a big fan. I know the saying now too, never meet your heroes. That does apply to some people I've had the pleasure of running into, I'm sure. But right. Yeah, it's like, man, you want to meet the people, but you also don't, in case they let you down and it ruins the whole illusion you have of them.
Yeah, I've got a couple of people on that list. I really want to meet them, but some things I've heard.
Yes. Oh gosh, I know. Yeah. So Don Henley, he is the lead singer of the Eagles. You know, he lives in Dallas. And we only ever hear bad things about people who have
horrible.
I know. We only hear bad things. And so I'm just like, oh, even if I saw him out, as much as I would probably like have a tear in my eye, I don't think I would approach him or talk to him. I need to keep that illusion going strong. Yeah. I can't.
Don't want to ruin it.
Come on, Don. Time to make it right. Be nice to everybody.
Oh, yes. God, come on, Don.
He's probably set in his ways by now.
Right.
Yeah.
I got to ask, I saw your Halloween photos from a while ago, a bit of a Wes Craven tribute to Scream and Nightmare on Elm Street. Are you both big fans of old school horror?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. I love that you saw that. We had the idea. I'm obsessed with Ghostface and the movie Scream. Always have been. That was the first horror movie I ever watched. I will never forget that. And watching it now, it's kind of like a horror comedy. But at the time, granted, I was in like second or third grade, I was terrified.
Oh, tell me.
I thought Ghostface was going to come and find me and murder me and everyone I know. I mean, I was so scared. And then I think I tried watching it again to kind of like face my fears. And then I just like kind of kept watching it. And it's one of my favorite movies. I love the horror genre. I'm so desensitized to things. I could watch any horror movie you name. I can like watch it at night, home alone, lights off. It just doesn't bother me. I'm a psycho. I'm a psycho.
How about you, Danny? Which ones are high up on the list? I know you're a Lord of the Rings fans, which is a bit of a difference.
I am. Yeah. So I watched horror movies with my dad in high school. So we watched more of like the Final Destination movies, which aren't technically horror, but
they're gore horror. They are.
Yeah, they are. And then stuff like, oh my gosh, what was that movie that was the girl was babysitting? This guy is stalking her. I don't know. That was a big movie that we watched a long time ago.
When a Stranger Calls.
Yes, that one. And then Chris actually got me into Ghostface because when I was 6 years old, I wasn't allowed to celebrate Halloween, but I was allowed to help give out candy to our neighborhood people. So, you know, back in the day, like in the 90s, they have those long hallways and you usually have like a glass thing on your door where you can kind of see through it a little bit. You know, all night we're walking over and this is like 97, I think. And I was giving out candy and I turned the corner and there's a ghost face standing at my door looking at me through the glass. And I was so terrified. I think I had nightmares for like a long time about that.
Straight out of the film, that is.
Yeah. I thought he was there to kill me because my dad would watch the movies and I would see them in passing. But, you know, my mom's, get out of here. You're not allowed to watch. And so I had never watched the movies and Chris showed me them for the first time. We had like a 3-day sleepover and we watched all of them.
A Scream marathon.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yes. And I was 23. So yeah, after that, I got more into it.
That first one was a game changer. Even I saw that at the cinema when it came out and I'd been a horror fan like through the late 80s. And then there was just like this real period where nothing came out for like maybe 4 or 5 years or something. Then Scream crops up at the cinema and I was terrified sat in the cinema watching it because it was so fresh and so well done. It was brilliant. So anybody who like says, oh, it's not scary or anything like that, they're probably the same people who say, I don't know if you agree with me, but like the Blair Witch Project, still terrifying film. You had to be there to see it.
Right. Oh yeah.
Man. I'm sorry, but like getting stabbed in the movie theater, that's not terrifying to you. That's terrifying.
And that's what they did in Scream too.
Yes, the opening scene.
How they
Yes.
started it.
They embrace that, yeah.
Oh my
God.
gosh, yeah. And now they're back on. I mean, Wes Craven's obviously not directing them anymore, RIP. But I guess they've released 2 now in the past couple years, and I think they're going to do another. So it might turn into the new Halloween where we just have like 12 Scream movies.
I'm here for it. He is my favorite now, I will say.
Right. Yeah, just bring it on.
Faced my fear.
I am ghost faced almost every single year for Halloween, Rob. I'm not even kidding. I'll change the variation. I'll change it up a bit or something, but every year that's my Halloween costume.
Yeah. You should check out her Facebook and look at her profile pictures, because for the longest time she had herself as Ghostface shredding on the guitar as her profile pic.
I'm on it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So funny.
So do you have any live dates in the pipeline? I mean, the two of you have been playing live for years, but is it harder to put together a Prizm live show?
I'm so excited. We do. We have a live show. We're playing a show in Dallas at a place called Sweet Tooth Hotel. It is such a cool spot.
So
And
cool.
so, we're thrilled. And this is just going to be the start of many. We have plans. We want to play more cities. We would love to come to London. We even started talking about that. So just the one live date now. So that will be October 20th, I believe.
Yeah.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Right
So
before our favorite time of the year.
yes, spooky season.
Halloween show.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We talked about making it kind of Halloween themed, having people wear costumes. So that's very us. We love Halloween costume themed, all the things.
Well, I hope there's going to be some European ones in the future. But I like you say, you need to just jump onto a tour support somewhere. That's ideal.
I know. Wouldn't that be great?
I always end with asking the same question. I want you both to time travel a little bit. It's a Friday night in the 80s. You head into the video store. Which movie soundtrack do you have on the Walkman, and which 3 tapes are you going to rent for the weekend?
Oh
my God.
That's a good one.
You can either combine your choices or do totally separate ones.
This is any time in the 80s?
Well, you're going to it in like the late 80s time or maybe early 90s. So anything prior to that, got a choice from. So anything from that time period.
Well, I can tell you the videos I'm getting, Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Sarah Jessica Parker. I love that movie. I love that movie. Back to the Future. I have seen that movie so many times. I will watch it so many more times. Danny, what's an 80s movie? We're obviously going together. We're always together.
Yeah, we're together. One of my favorites is Can't Buy Me Love. I love that movie.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Patrick Dempsey.
I know. He's such a little scrawny cutie in that movie. And then I would tell you right now, we're both going to be listening to Dance with Somebody by Whitney Houston as we walk in. And we're also going to be renting Breakfast Club.
Oh, yeah.
How does Breakfast Club hold up for you guys? Do you see it in different lights to us older people?
I love it. I mean, you can go into a very deep theological answer for that for sure. I feel like it's very relatable. Just people can be so different, but if you stick all the people in the room, we're all just people and we all have the same thoughts and feelings and fears and things we have to deal with. And I think that movie shows a lot of how to have compassion and empathy for anyone. So that's my very snippet theological answer, but it is a good one. I really like that movie.
I've watched it several times throughout my life, and I will say that I think being older and watching it, I enjoyed it more because like I didn't need it to be fast paced, and I like understood the message behind it, and I liked that part about it. And wasn't Grease made in the 80s?
Grease was like very early 80s, I think, or at least late 70s.
Yeah.
It always curveballs me. It's like, when did Happy Days come out? I have no idea.
I know. I think it might have been in the early 80s. And if that's so, then that's on my list.
Okay. We'll let you have the Grease soundtrack on the Walkman.
Okay, good.
But when we're walking out, it might be more late 80s. It might be even be early 90s. I don't know the exact date. Thunderstruck, AC/DC.
Oh, yeah. 1991.
We're going to just burn it down to that song at 1,000%.
Yeah, that's my ringtone.
Oh, super.
It is. We love that song.
Have you seen that video online on social media with all like the dads dancing to Thunderstruck at a wedding?
Oh my gosh,
God,
I think
no.
I have.
It's fantastic. You got to find it if you've not seen it.
I thought you were going to ask me about this video that I had just been sent. And it was this dad that recorded clips of their baby making certain sounds through the first year of its life. And he mashed them all together to make the intro of Thunderstruck.
Oh, that's a
And it is,
good
like,
video.
Oh
I've
my
seen
God,
that
Rob,
one.
we have to send it to you.
Yes, please. I'll put it in the podcast comments. I'll put it in
It
the
can be
notes.
the intro. It can be the intro to the show.
Yeah. It's the intro also. It's the intro song to Leonard Skinner right now on tour.
Wow.
If that doesn't get you amped enough.
Good
Oh, yeah.
Lord.
This is a song of all songs.
It's timeless. It's timeless.
It is the amp song. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The getting amped.
Kris Danni, I'll let you go. Thank you so much for chatting with me. I've loved it.
Thank you, Rob. Yeah.
Thank you. It was good to talk to you.
It's been a lot of fun. I wish you all the best with the vinyl release and upcoming live show, and fingers crossed for more dates in the future.
Yes. Thank you, Rob.
Yes, if we ever come to London, you have to come to our show.
100%. Well, you guys enjoy the rest of your day.
All right.
Been great to connect.
You too. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
Massive thanks to Kris and Danni of Prizm for joining me on today's show. That really was a lot of fun, and I'm excited for them to be releasing their album All Night on vinyl and getting out to do some live shows. Be sure to find them on social media and check out their website weareprizm.com for all the up-to-date info. As mentioned earlier, there's a few things happening coming up to Halloween with straight to video. We have iconic horror artist Graham Humphreys returning to the 80s video shop on Saturday, October the 21st to sign copies of his new book, Nightmare on One Sheet. If you want to come along, then admission is of course free, but to make sure you don't miss out on the book, you can pre-order it in advance at www.80svideoshop.co.uk, and you can collect on the day for Graham to personally sign. As always though, Graham will be selling and signing his amazing prints on the day too. We're also buzzed to be once again teaming up with the Loft Movie Theatre to show the 80s classic Return of the Living Dead at the Savoy Cinema on Monday the 30th of October, Halloween Eve. This will be our fourth event with the Loft, and they nearly always sell out, so please grab your tickets as soon as you can, and I look forward to seeing you there. Alright, so that's all for this episode, but we'll be back next Friday, so until then, always be kind, please rewind and unwind, and I'll speak to you all real soon.